Yep, I got scared. You heard that.
Hey guys, welcome back to Johnny Boy's Garage. Tonight we're going to be doing some brakes on a 2005 Dodge Dakota. As you can see, I already got the jack and jack stand set up. With that, let's get to work and I'll catch you guys when I'm jacking the car up. Alright, that's now up on jack stands. I'm going to start on the passenger side and then we'll move to the driver's side. So we're going to go ahead and zap the tire off. There's quite the lip on the back side of that. So I'm going to jump around, I'm going to turn the wheels so this is a little bit more accessible. And we will start taking off the caliper and the mounting bracket. So we're going to go ahead and remove the caliper. Just little baby bolts. So what I like to do before I completely remove this is I compress this a little bit. I like to throw my screwdriver after the second attempt. She's on there nice and good like. Something tells me it's been a while since these things have been touched. I guess the metal on metal's on the other side. I am going to replace both rotors. Wind just jump scared me. My door flew open. I wasn't ready for that. Looks like she is a 21. Take off this bracket. Got it. Oh yeah, you can see the lip on that bug. These things have been worn pretty thin. I'm gonna grab the new parts and I'll be right back. one thing I do like to do when I do brake jobs is these areas where the pads will make contact with the mount. Just like to try and clean this up a little bit. Now, is that perfect? No, but it'll have a lot less resistance when you're trying to both put them in and when you're using the brakes themselves. So now that that's cleaned up, we're going to put the rotor on. Couldn't save that one. She's on there nice and tight. Grab some brake pads. Looks like all this hardware is exactly the same. Sure, I'll find out here in a second. And something you should always check is make sure one brake pad isn't designed differently than the other. Because sometimes your outboard pad will have two dots, and then this one will be your inboard pad and it'll have nothing on it. That way it's not interfering with the caliper cylinders. So I like to check that before I just start throwing pads in place. Now, for compressing a caliper, a lot of people will use a C-clamp. I personally like this style of a caliper compressor. I got this off of the Cornwell truck for, I think it was like 60 bucks. You can get one like this that has magnetic plates, so it's more useful in certain applications. The difference being this is an offset like the Cornwell one is, where the Cornwell one is dead center. This is offset, so sometimes you'll be smacking your hand into the caliper if you ain't paying attention when you're setting it in place. But you can get this off of eBay or like Amazon. I think I picked this up for like 14 bucks. I've done a bunch of brake calipers with this. And ironically, due to the size, I'm actually going to be using this one, not the one I got off the tool truck. And these things just ratchet and they push the caliper back. keep in mind when you're doing your brakes, if you're going to compress your caliper, you should have one still on the rotor. That way the brake fluid doesn't push back and push the cylinders out of the other caliper. So she's compressed. She is on. Now these are just little bolts. They aren't made for a boatload of torque, but you don't want them loose. I'm gonna go ahead, straighten the wheel out, pop this tire back on, and since this wasn't really the bad side, I'll show you guys taking the tire off on the other side. Well, since I now know that the passenger side was not the bad side, I figured I'd at least film taking this one off so that we can both run it together. I made the mistake of doing that. When you're dealing with swollen sockets, well, when you're dealing with swollen lug nuts, you just keep wiggling until they come free. I think this is a 7/8. Come on. Everyone needs to fight me. That was a precision, my part. Everybody complains about Ford. Man, these are the most stubborn lug nuts I've ever had to deal with. Wow, that's brand used. Yep. That is gorgeous. All right, everything at this point is just a repeat from the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out. And I will catch you guys up top. Y'all stay safe. So all in all, what we used today, 7/8 for the lug nuts to remove the tires, flathead screwdriver to pre-compress the calipers, make them a little bit easier to release off the brake pads, 13mm for the caliper bolts, 3-inch extension for the top one to clear the brake line, 21mm to remove the caliper bracket bolts, wire brush to clean the contact areas of the brake pad to the caliper mount, ratchet, power ratchet for speed, caliper compressor. This is like a $15 item on eBay. not the best, but it gets the job done. And the speed up tire removal, we used an impact. And as far as tools go, that was everything I used to take this apart. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll catch you all next week.